It was midnight. It was on from just the window.
For a follow-up question for the Google's processing speed there, is there a buffer that you were challenged with, or a time frame? You're only able to speak so many words, and then you can pause for Google to finish.
Yeah, it's like that. We just limited the time of 10 seconds.
Okay.
Like 10 seconds continuous, you can speak the words and then it will pause. Then again, you're supposed to press the button to again speak. 10 seconds continuous, whatever is said, it will take.
Thank you. Nice work.
Okay, ready for the next one. Your share?
Yes, sir. Number 9.
Yeah, that's right. Shall I go ahead?
Yes.
Yeah. From last night, me and my friend Vinod have been working on this simple application called Here Share, which is nothing but JavaScript and WebRTC protocol. What it does is it lets you share the file with whoever you intend to. What I mean is when you want to share a file with somebody, its generally follow procedure is you will upload the file to some web server, and the other person who wants to access it gets to download from the web server. What we are what we have tried and we have successfully eliminated the user middleware web server. So here it is truly peer-to-peer, and this power is brought to brought to the developers by the enabling WebRTC protocol on the browsers such as Mozilla and Firefox. So what we are doing here is the person who wants to send a file to the other person will share a secret key with that person, typically through other means, by call and text. For example, let's say Bob wants to share a file with Jane. So what Bob does is that he calls up Jane and gives her a secret key. So that when Bob has a secret key and Bob enters his email, this screen pops up. And since Jane also has the secret key, she can also enter the secret key and she can log into the system. And what Bob does is it's a choose file button. Once the choose file button is clicked, he's prompted for the file to be transmitted to the Jane. That's what the pretty much the transfer happened, and this file has reached to Jane. That is the browser on the right side worksheet. As you can see, that's the file that Jane can see right now. And this happens without the intervention of any third-party web service or any such thing. So if you are really concerned about who will be sniffing into your files, this is a pretty much better solution. And what we were trying to achieve here is a very simple web interface. It's a very simple app that even novice can use. That's about it. Thank you. And one more thing I'd like to add is this can be the application of this file sharing system can be seen within an organization where you want to share files within within your colleagues or any friends. So yeah, that's the basic thing. Thank you. Do you guys have any questions for us?
Just a quick one. Does this solve the problem of people's inboxes not being able to cope with large files? Does it go from it goes from one storage system to the other?
Yeah, definitely. What we are doing is once the file that the bot chooses to upload, the file has been file will be split up into few chunks according to the size of the file, so that each chunk will be handled separately, and there's no limit, there's no practical limit for a file to be transferred here. It handles pretty much any amount of file, any big file that you want to send.
And that's
even features.
So you built that in, that chunking up is built in.
Yeah, that's right. No, it's not very much built in, but we are splitting the files and sending chunks here at a time. That's not very much built into the WebRTC. The security part is, very much, pretty much greatly incorporated in the WebRTC. So that is the one thing that we developers don't have to worry about.
And so the security, if you've given the code to somebody, what happens then? How do you know they can't come back into your system?
Sure. This is pretty much based on WebRTC, since WebRTC is not a final draft yet. I mean, it's not yet released officially. Since it's in draft state, there are very much a few frequent changes coming in, pretty much in a weekly basis. So there are a lot of things that are changing, and I don't know. We need to see how it affects others when we provide this as an open source API.
Okay, thanks.
Nice work, guys.
Thank you very much.
from him.
Okay. Connect Square, is it?
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Connect Square,
Yeah, hi, my name is Vashmi Ranjan. So I'm presenting Connect Square here. I have tried to present the problem with a small video. I'm not sure if the audio is audible, so I will try to do a voiceover if the audio is not there.
Exactly.
Okay, it's not audible. So let's say Andrew is a guy who goes and visits different places like museums, shops, and other places, and he wants to meet new people. But he is always disappointed because he is shy and he cannot approach new people to go and talk to them all of a sudden. So, but over the internet what happens is Andrew normally finds it easy to start a conversation, and after that meeting in person is not a problem. But one of the other aspects of Andrew is like every time he goes and visits a place, he does a check-in on Facebook with the things. Right. That's where Connect Square comes in. People like Andrew can check in with Facebook and pretty much anything, and the Connect Square will connect them with people nearby. Now this is how it works. Let's say Andrew will do a one-time check-in, one-time permission on Facebook to Connect Square. Then he goes to a place and does a check-in at that place. Immediately Connect Square will try and find out who are the other people surrounding that who have done a check-in a few minutes here and there, and will try to present them in a list. And you selects whom he wants to connect it, and once they accept it, he's immediately doing a video chat with the user on instantly. So it works like an icebreaker for most of the for both Andrew and the person, and that's it. So after that, they can take it from there and try and meet in person and take it from there. So it's like Connect Square connects people at different places that they visit. They don't have to be taking their friends, so they make new friends as they go in. Also on the top of it, what it does is, as they try and check in and restaurants and places multiple times, it has got a loyalty system built in, which rewards them with savings and other offers at that place itself. So this is the video or the problem or the solution which we are trying to build. While we have not really built the application, because it's an Android application which we are going to build, we have given a kind of a flow here, how to go through like let's say the person can come in and log in through Facebook. We ask for basic details and then take the permission from Facebook and like Foursquare APIs, and they can go to the Google Play and start doing it. So let's see what is being used in this kind of an application. So WebRTC is there for the Chrome on Android. That is what we'll be using to do the instant video chat. Facebook API, Foursquare API, and there is a restaurant table booking system API, which we use to get the restaurant details and get the deals and get the table booking from there. What's the business model? Well, Connect Square gets commission for every customer referred to the places. Like Andrew is a repeated customer for a restaurant, and he keeps on going there. So for every time he goes to a restaurant, Connect Square gets a commission on the top of it. Also, what we intend to do is we intend to do something like a credit system like Quora has got, using which so we try to do something like if the user is not having the credits, he cannot really go and connect with users. But if he has the credits, then he can go and connect with more people nearby. And using that, so they can earn these credits doing check-in or using the savings vouchers, which give us money anyways, and also maybe some other premium activities we should think of as we go along. Who will be using this application? Well, I believe most of them will be single men and women, or the people like geeks around here. They love at going to places and find out who are the girls nearby. But I'm not trying to say that other people will not be using it. what I also believe is maybe big conferences or events are also a good place to find this kind of connecting and happening over there. And I've also kind of kept it open for creative use application. I don't want to comment on it at this moment. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any questions?
Yes, there is. Yes.
Yeah, quick question. So Facebook and Foursquare check-ins generally are permission-based and usually private, public private information shared only with friends. Do you see that as a barrier, or how would you address that?
Yes, so we will be asking for each and every user permission. That is how the user first comes in to connect to it. Now, if the user has not shared it really with the public, then it does become a barrier. I haven't really thought through that, how to go through that. Maybe we can give a notification to the user through the mobile app saying, okay, your check-ins are not being visible, so make it visible for us. Something on those lines.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question? Thanks.
Yeah.
interactive play?
Yeah, a contextual interactive platform. Yeah, this is app number 11. Contextual interactive platform.
What is the title?
It's a contextual interactive platform.
Okay, hold on, I'm trying to find it.
I'm trying to find you.
That's the team name? Or what about, who are some of
The
the
team name is
Who are some of the
team
people?
name would be 3 collaborators.
Oh,
Ah.
there we go.
That's there.
Got it.
Three collaborators.
How many people are in your team?
Team.
Excellent, good, we're all set.
Okay, I'm Satya. So our hack is interactive place, contextual interactive platform. So let me go to the hack. So in today's world, let's say that I'm learning about WebRTC and I've been scrolling and reading through all these things, but somewhere, some of these things are technically so complex that you might have some questions. In the current world, all you can do is you can search more about it or you can ask some comments, which is more of offline way. But there are so many people who are on the same web who might be actually reading about WebRTC on the same place. So our hack is to actually enable them to collaborate real time. So I have actually 2 tabs, and in the first tab, I'm actually reading about function getString, and there could be multiple others who could actually be here. On the right side, we actually have a screen which is a pink and a green, which actually tells like how many people and where are they. So if I want to actually chat with them, and these users can opt in and say that, okay, I want to actually collaborate, and then they can say, they can just click on the icon. So I just named it as Alex, and then he is actually pinging to another person called John, and he's saying hi. So do you want to real time collaborate? And then if he acknowledges that one, so it comes over here, and then they can ask like, do you know about this time? So it comes over here real time, and then they can understand better. Also, if they are like really know each other, then they can actually go for a video chat. And then they can actually do real-time collaboration with all these things. You want to actually enhance it with like, you can copy paste the text and it can actually highlight on the other one's screen so that they share the context and then they know what they are talking about and then they can actually go about talking and understanding more. So the other thing what we actually also have is like how we identify the user scroll behavior. So if I add more tabs, then all these people will actually come in different icons, and then I will know like how many people are there in each of these places. So that way I can actually have a user scroll behavioral pattern and create a heat map out of the page. So moving on to the target market. So this can be actually used in any of the education portals to learn more about it, or e-commerce site like a travel portal where I want to go to London, and there could be multiple pages where people are talking about London or they are blogging about London, and you can actually collaborate with them, or any technical blogs where I want to understand more, and any healthcare where I have some symptoms and I want to collaborate real time. On the business model, actually, this will be a platform which can be integrated with any of the web portals, and then they can actually pay per use, or it could be a free where we host it, and then we can actually have a targeted ads because we are now doing a contextual, we know the context of these pages, and we can actually target them with the contextual ads. Also, we can actually give those pages with what are the scroll patterns, where the people are spending time and where the heat map of the page is. So future enhancement, like you can do screen sharing so that you can actually do a lot more whiteboarding and be able to classify users into experts or intermediates so that, let's say like I'm on WebRTC page and a lot of people are actually novice and there are few experts, then I can actually go and interact with them. Also like the scroll pattern analysis, which we haven't built in now, but we can actually build it. So So that's all I have. And we have used WebRTC for the video and or the text chat, and everything else is on HTML and JavaScript.
Can I ask how long you've been working on this?
Sorry,
How
come
long
again?
have you been working on this?
1.5 days. Like we started around yesterday 8 o'clock or something, and then it's about like 1 day.
Where did the idea come from?
Sorry.
Where did the idea come from? How did you
Okay, so the idea actually came from like, so we have been thinking about how we can actually make the web more collaborative, and this was a place where it was all about collaboration. And then we said like, so when I want to talk, let's say I'm learning algorithm, a lot of time you actually want to find the person who wants to discuss about algorithm, and you actually find him in your classroom or in your office. But a lot of people are in web, and we thought like how we can actually integrate them to build this whole thing.
And it looked like that two-party video only at this point, or was there a three-party multi?
You can do a multi-video chat, but we, because of the real estate of the stuff, like we couldn't actually get more than 2. But technically it's possible, but we need to align all our HTML and CS in such a way that it doesn't look ugly when actually multiple users actually chat.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great work, guys.
Okay, we're ready for the next team. Sorry about that.
Okay. Alright. Next team, number 12 is ice, or frozen ice.
Right? All right.
Alright. We start?
Yes, please.
Yep.
Sorry, yeah.
Alright, so hello to everyone from Bangalore. We know it's pretty important for all of you to take your weekend for listening out to our ideas. So the team we have here is we belong to P&G, Amazon, Yahoo, Adobe and SAP. We've tried to focus the last 2 weeks on focusing on critical business problems, and we believe that we found a niche which will really help enterprises hack efficiency in their business meetings. So what are we talking about? We're talking about building a unified collaboration experience, always making sure that the business meetings remain contextual and also efficient to track. And finally, using the new technologies, it's easy and anywhere access available.
So we Alice, it's an enterprise collaboration platform, and as Prashu said, it's unified collaboration experience. So what you see here is an ICE homepage. So every user who has logged into it, they do come to this home screen and they can connect with anybody in their network or people outside network, they can invite. And you see the top screen which has you can go invite someone, or you can see your past conferences, you can search through index conference text, and you can have tags here for the conference, which will be the next slide. This is a screen which will take you to the unified collaboration experience.
So cumulatively, we have been through thousands of meetings, and what we fail to understand is that with the Amazon and Dropbox and Box coming out, why are these meetings, and especially the important meetings, not on the cloud? So the product which we have built, and we sincerely believe is going to help enterprise make their business meetings much more efficient, is to give you one example, we have real-time call to actions within the conference. So people can allocate action items to their different people from within the conference. I, at the same time, if I want to work and want to tag something for me, what we have created here is a real-time video bookmark. So, for example, I can write for myself and I have to go to the material supplier website while I'm seeing this slide.
So we can have very important to do. There is always a big pain point where user has to go through another combination which is supplier or doesn't know where to take a note. So we have given a simple interface where we can tag a video which we call video benchmarks. So which is going to help you to review your calls at one time. It's going to create a gist of the call, quick, and it's also a plug. So you can also go back and keep it. So this is a call summary screen, what you see here. So once every conference gets over, you get this call summary. You manage to view as well as you also just post it to your original calendar event. So for example, you can also go to your Gmail calendar and it's updated. And this is a national screen and which has download recording and it also has a tags. Whatever tags you upload on your screen, it is budget review, design review, etc. And you are also putting down more, which will help you to go and review the point time. And your action items, which has clear owner and what is description. So and also this is the participants. It's a part of the screen. So this is exactly how to efficiently track things with the platform.
So just to explain you quickly the flow is this. You get one URL, you can click on it, join the meeting, the entire video, the meeting session is uploaded on the cloud. At the same time, you don't have to worry for the minutes of the meeting. It's right there. And after 2 months, you will go back to the same meeting, you just click on, look into your calendar, click on the URL, and it's all pushed back right there into the cloud. So you have access to the meeting video. From the cloud, you have access to the individual tags, and finally the call to action for the minutes of the meeting.
So this is how we are going to reach out to the customers. So this is our home, this is home screen. So you don't ask any user to register actually. So you just want to have conference, you just log in, tell your email address, add your participant email address, you can also connect them meeting portals.
Yeah, and you have the built-in variability. For example, if you're using it for the first time, you can, at the end of the conference, get the summary and then just put in your password, and there itself you have it with yourself.
So basically, we don't ask the user to register at all. So we are creating a new way of registering a user which is going to be very difficult and user know that he's registering. At the same time, he is getting the benefits of the platform.
Alright, so finally a word on the business model. We believe that we are focusing on a unique niche which is going to help enterprise become highly efficient in their meetings. So this strategy is basically to generate a large user base from individuals by providing them a basic and free offering and to generate revenues from professional users.
So, sorry for this, I think this is not a very revision, I have explained the whole point. But still, this gives a clear picture of what the business model is. We have segregated customer segment, its relationships with the customer and the channel, revenue streams attached to value proposition. And we also have key partners who we are going to partner with as a platform, and the key resources who is going to do this, and what are the key activities we have used up, so which is going to keep this business live. So this is the business model. Before we jump on the demo, we want to have a quickly.
Okay, we can go through the model. Anything else?
We have a demo to share. Is it done? So what you see here is so we are proposing is a complete platform. So this is a small implementation of the platform which is going to have the conference. Okay, so this we have implementation with backend is Node.js and we have these studios APIs. We tried reading and we worked, but we jump back to the RPC here, and we are demonstrating how to have a call to action sequence during a conference. So you can assign the action to a user right here during the conference, and you get started to that users assignees task list. And this is very simple interface. You can also share the screen and from the higher portion management. But without using an development, yes, and you're also trying to share files more efficiently. This is more of a good idea as well as create a group.
Yeah, I'm Shankar. Yeah, so here's the UI, and a lot of stuff we are using at the backend. If you see the most famous demo, it's already there on the internet, that uses Google App Engine, but what we thought is we would be putting Node.js at the backend. And there are a lot of libraries, modules which we can say which are Node.js which we are using. For example, the WebSockets and Express application framework. So with the help of WebSockets, we are creating a server and sending this data. So this is all local, and the demo which you are seeing is from an IP which is connected to me, and I'm hosting it. So you are actually hitting my server, and the data is going from my server to you as a client. And then we both are on the same server. There's no Google App Engine or any internet connectivity over here. So that's the thing. And a lot of other stuffs are also there, which if you can see the video full screen, or if you can click on my video there. The one which is below. If you want to like it. So things like you want to see your own stuff full screen, all those things which could be better from the user interface perspective or JavaScript as such, to try to implement that. But given the scenario of 1 day hack or 2 days, 2 nights, so there was only a limited set of features, so we thought video would be the best thing to do. And but there are, it's like you can assume our application as an interface which is consuming the services from our Node.js Express framework. So you can also build another interface which suits your enterprise needs on top of our service. That one thing. Second thing is if you can see the icons over there, we are going to implement a lot of stuff like audio call, file sharing, string sharing. String sharing is again experimental. So
as you can see, we have gone produces with our efforts here.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah. Did I see presence enabled? Did you have presence? For users, showing who's online, who's available, who's not.
Yeah. We want to show that. Yeah, one second.
What are you using for presence? XMPP simple?
So we have also done the visions and activity. So it is again, it's going to be good, but not now. We don't have a prototype ready, but this is what our plan to.
Oh, okay. And what standard were you using for presence? Expected to?
Is there a standard use for that?
Actually, can you explain your question? By presence, you mean who's the one speaking at the moment?
No, that's
Who's logged in, who's available, who's not available.
Yeah.
So as you see, the system recognizes there are two people speaking. So this is what our flow is going to be. So Julia and William, they are the ones speaking at the same time. So their icons will be highlighted on the top left corner, and they are the ones speaking. And these 5 are the people who are present in the conference at the moment.
The question is, what technology are you using to detect that presence?
Yeah, we are working on that.
The logic which we basically thought about is to use the audio frequency, like the audio pitch, coming from the presence.
What? All right. I think we got it. Move on. Thank you.
Nice work. Thank you.
No, it's actually basically just a conference. We will give the URL to, let's say, these 5 people, and they will have to open that URL in their browser to join the conference. So it's basically like your normal meeting.
No, with the help of JavaScript, we are actually doing it.
Yes.
Thank you. Got it.
Okay, Gunpowder, thank you.
Okay, we've got a last team. They're not on the list that you have, but they have registered before. It's called Tweet Hub. Alright, good for it.
And then you'll start to see task communication this way. There's a whole load of arrows and signs. Yeah, I didn't get it. It's exceptional. Yeah, go through the courtyard. There's a little kitchen next to it.
What we are doing here is
on the right hand side.
making videos of people expressing their this is a hashtag. Particular topic is trending. Only more than that. People want to talk about it, but they just don't want to read about it. They don't want it to get sold, they don't want to make their timeline happy or something else. But what we are trying to get here is basically making this more visual, more interactive. People can join topics on our site, on our product, and can actually view each other, and they can conduct webinars, education classes. They can have specific training topics about the categories, whether sports, education, technology, and they can join any of these. And they can just have a video chat with other people who are interested in those topics. Right now, let's just say I will join Collaborate. If somebody else can join this, can just take this service. 192.168.1.9